Hello, everyone in my live stream. Let me know if you can hear me. I am currently at the Blogger and Vlogger Network about to start my discussion on product reviews, and you can join us in World. I will leave a link to the location in the chat right now, or you can watch in this live stream if you're not able to make it in World. And the discussion will be starting in just a couple of minutes, so feel free to join us whenever you guys are ready, or you can just listen on here. I'm going to be turning my voice on in World very soon, so I'll stop talking on the stream. Please do let me know if you can hear me.
It's roast beef, roast potatoes, baked courgettes, sprouts, broccoli, Yorkshire puddings.
I like this story.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God.
That's great. I'm glad you guys can hear me. I've turned on the sounds in World now, so you'll be hearing other people in the background, and they should be starting very soon.
Hey, Jeff. What's up?
I'm just moving my microphone around, so sorry if you guys hear any
You're fine, Star. You can talk to
bumps
Freya
and
about the
such.
time I didn't realize my mic was on. It's all good.
Yeah, that was.
I did not
It,
need cream. I was
it,
talking to my little sister.
he did. He was talking about cream that he needed, and whether he could get this cream, and who was paying for the cream.
Oh, yes.
I think it was whoever's fault it was that he needed the cream, needed to pay for the cream. I know we.
Ew, that's a gross
We got lost.
conversation. I was talking to my sister. You went a step further. Like, this is the line, and this is, like, that's where you crossed it. And good morning, everyone. Except for Cass, it's like, what, 4 in the afternoon for you now?
Yep, it's nearly wine time.
I thought wine time was all the time. You too.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere.
Is Alicia here? That Strawberry's like a little peanut gallery, right? Well, she's gonna be in Strawberry's peanut gallery for the show. Alright, everyone. So, oh wait, let me see. Freya, are we good?
I hope you guys can hear the people talking in World properly as well. I can raise the volume in World.
Okay. So, welcome to another live presentation with BVN. Before I introduce Strawberry, we're just gonna go over our upcoming live events. We're actually taking a 2-week break because, if you can't tell based on what I'm wearing, Thereafter kicked off yesterday, so we're gonna be a little busy with that. But we're gonna be back again on September 2nd with Apple for photography tips and tricks, and then I don't know, these two people, I don't know why we scheduled them. I've never heard of them before. They're going to be talking about promoting your blog. Maybe you guys are familiar, Delicate Flower and Kess Crystal. I'm not really sure, but exactly who. So I'll be hosting then. It'll be fun. I'll have to do some research. Not too familiar. Then we have then on September 16th, we have Red Columbia from RC Cluster, and she'll be talking about blogging niche items. I really like her store, it's great. And then September 23rd, we're gonna kick off the Pocket Gotcha and Powder Pack photo contest. And then in between then, we have a really big announcement, but it's super top secret, and I can't tell you yet. But we will soon. Hey, Vanity. So without further ado, we have Strawberry Singh today. She is by far one of the most influential, prolific residents on Second Life, and she will be talking about product reviews. Strawberry, you're up.
Hello everybody, can everybody hear me properly? Hopefully you guys can. I have already tested the mic. Okay, great. So before I begin my this little discussion, I'm going to try to keep it short because I felt like my last discussion just went on forever. But before I begin, I did want to thank the Vlogger Network team for inviting me to do this, and I also want to commend them on their work at BVN because they are providing a much needed platform for all bloggers and vloggers. So thank you guys for that. I've learned a lot from the discussions, even if I haven't, come to a lot of them. I'll later on look them up on your YouTube channel and listen. So they're very informative, and I appreciate you letting me be a part of that. So today I'll be talking about how I do the product reviews that you can read on my blog. So I don't review a lot of items, and I've been blogging since 2007, and I didn't really like to call myself a review blogger because before, a lot of times what I used to do was just take images and then I would just talk about nonsensical stuff, whatever was on my mind, and then I would share the credits. So I didn't really like calling myself a review blogger. But as things started to progress and more complicated technical things started being released to the grid, I realized what was happening was people were asking me a lot of questions if I blogged something that was a big purchase item. And, I was getting a lot of people contacting me in World, so I decided the best way to prevent all of this confusion was to just, give more detailed reviews and talk more in detail about the items on my blog posts. Just spread my knowledge. So I don't do reviews on like everyday items like clothing and skins and hair and etc. I do things did slightly change when the subscription boxes came out. I don't do reviews on those. I do unboxings, but I will give my opinions on certain items, like if I like it, if it's my style, what I would like if something was slightly changed about it, so on and so forth. So I wouldn't really call those reviews. But what I do give full detailed reviews on are big purchase items that really impact your avatar or your Second Life, like mesh bodies, mesh heads, and other items that are, technical or informative, like HUDs and AOs and etc. So things that people tend to spend a lot of money on. So you want to make sure that you're getting all of that information, and things that are often very confusing for people to understand if they're not so tech savvy. So that's the main reason that I started doing these reviews. So there are 3 basic rules that I follow for each review. Okay, so the first rule is I provide as much information about the item as possible. So I'm going to go into all 3 of these points in detail after I tell you about all 3 points. So the second rule is direct your readers to people and or links where they can find even more information about the item that you're covering, and that is a really important aspect, and I'll also go into that in detail in a bit. And then, of course, my third rule is remember to share facts correctly and in detail about the item. And also, it's important to also share your opinion about the item, but just remember to share that opinion constructively and also point out that it is your opinion and not fact. So that's really important that you do get that out there. So my first rule, providing as much information as possible. So when I first started to do these detailed reviews, the one major aspect that everyone wants to know about, like I realize everybody, first thing they want to know about is the price, if they can afford it. And so that's the first thing I try to share in these reviews, because that's when okay, if this is in my price range, if I can even think about purchasing this, etc. So I know sometimes people see the price and get sticker shock and then just stop reading. But in all honesty, those people probably wouldn't have purchased the item anyways. So sharing the price first can really prepare them mentally and make them pay more attention, if it is in their price range. So you want to get that out there first, share the price. And then next thing I do is I share everything that's in the box and folder. It's very important to share all the contents because you want people to see everything that you got so they can compare that they did receive all the items. There's nothing missing, and people understand how everything works. So once you've shared what's in the items, I share what each item does. Okay, you want to show how to wear it. I did one video where I showed how to put on the alphas, wear a mesh body, wear a mesh head. I don't repeat that for every single video, but I do show that I'm wearing the alpha, I'm wearing this item, because there's a lot of people that are new to Second Life still. They're still learning. They don't understand how to even, wear these items. So you do want to show everything that you're wearing as well. It's really important. And that's where video blogging adds more to the review than just typing it out in the blog post. Like, sure, I can type out all this information, but visually is when they're seeing everything in your video, in your inventory. You can take pictures of your inventory, to show what it looks like. But I think the video blogging really hits it, gets that nail in there and shows that everything that's there. I'm getting sidetracked. Sorry about that. So you want to show all of those items, and you want to show how to use each item, including all the HUDs. And while you're explaining how to use these items, you want to keep the following questions in your head. And this is what I'm thinking when I'm talking. How does the item work? What can you use it for? What are the benefits of having said item? How does it differ from other similar items on the market? What features does it have? Like, is it Omega compatible? What is the complexity, etc.? I don't share the complexity on all of my posts, mainly because I'm lazy, but it's a good thing to share if you can look it up. And I wish like designers like wrote it on their note cards so the information was more easily accessible, because I don't know, when it comes to complexity, I feel like not everybody really cares that much, but it is a good thing to point out so people know what the differences are, especially with mesh heads. There are mesh heads that have crazy amounts of complexity when you put on, and they can affect your lag and so forth. So that is something that I should be doing, and hopefully when I get over that laziness, I'll do it more often. And another thing to keep in mind is people don't read, and they don't like to read. So most of the time, if you're not doing a video, you want to make sure when you're typing all this out in your blog post that you make it easy to read. So split it up into points, space it out well, bold the important parts of the text. And because when people, go to your post and they see a big wall of text, they're just gonna kind of skim over it. They're not gonna read every single little detail. So those are the main things about explaining what it comes with and what it does and all that. So once you've shared all of that information about the product, either via your blog and your vlog, another thing you really want to make sure is to share the name of the content creator that made the item and encourage your readers to contact them if they have further questions or their CSR for their customer service issues. This is really important. Because if you don't, you will get bombarded with questions and people contacting you with their issues that they may be having with their items. And also, for some reason, I noticed a lot of people are just not aware of who the creators are, even though they purchased the item from said creator. They don't know who they are. Like I'll say, "Oh, contact the creator. I'm not sure why you might be having this issue," and they'll be like, do you know who the creator is? So, I'm not judging, but, sometimes people just don't realize, or, they're new to a sell and so forth. So when you put it in the post, when you talk about it in your vlog, you're letting people know and you're informing them. And so they know who they bought the item from. And a lot of times people tend to think that I am the creator for some reason. And they'll contact me. I bought your catwa head and it's not working. And I was like, I'm really sorry to hear that, but it's not my catwa head. I wish it was. But, so they get really confused just because I'm talking about it. They assume that I created it. So when you point out that, no, if there was somebody else as the creator, this is the person that you should contact, it's better for them and for yourself. And in my opinion, you should not be answering CSR questions unless you are 100% familiar with the items and can give an accurate answer, because if you are not sure and you give the incorrect answer, you are not only wasting their time but also yours, and also maybe further confusing them. So just remember, tell them, go to the designer. Even if you're like kind of guessing, sometimes I'll say, I'm not sure what the issue is, it could be this. I'll say it because I'm guessing, and then I say, but please do contact the designer. So, you want to kind of save your butt on that. You don't want to screw anything up on their end or confuse them any further. And also remember to link to the creator's website, so their social media, and or any tutorials or information they may have that, is easy for their customers to access. Like, designers on their websites have pages of who creates suppliers for their items, or if they have tutorials on their YouTube channels or anything. You want to link to as many of those things as possible. Because again, it's just getting more information out there. The more information you share, the less information you'll have to share later on in IMs or emails when people are contacting you. So the last rule is, I'm reading the chat and laughing. The last rule that you want to remember is to share facts and opinions constructively. So you want to share facts about the items, like, whatever's written in the note cards, whatever is an obvious truth about the item. This is what the function is, so on and so forth. It's also good to share your opinions, but remember to do it constructively and make sure to point out that it is your opinion. If you are reviewing something and you decide to call it ugly and atrocious, then that is your opinion and not fact, and it's not a very constructive opinion. It's not a very constructive way of, sharing your opinion. Because no, it's not a fact, Alicia, because everyone has different tastes. So what you dislike, others may love, and vice versa. So instead, you can try using phrases like, it's not my style, or not something I would wear. And that's happened to me a lot of times, where I've opened up a subscription box and I've tried on, like a hair or something. I'm like, it's not my style. I don't really like it. And a bunch of people are leaving me comments like, oh my God, I loved that hair, right? And that's fine. And that doesn't mean that, so what I shared was not a fact. It was my opinion, and I said it was my opinion, right? Like, so you got to be careful of that. You can't just say something, well, this is crap, because it's not crap. And you know what, honestly, if it's crap, then why are you blogging it, right? Because if I find errors, if I find there is an issue with something, if I find that something is lacking in quality, I usually approach the designer directly first, and I let them know about the item, about the issue, about the quality issue, and then I let them fix that And then once they fixed it, then I will blog it. And if they don't fix it, a lot of times I haven't blogged it. I have bento heads that I've been given that I've never blogged because I didn't feel like they reached the quality level of what I want to promote on my blog. So, you know, if you really feel like something is crap or not, you know, then don't blog it. Just let it be and wait. But do let the designer know. Let them inform them of the issue that you had with it, or if you know, feel like there's a glaring error. I have done this so many times where I've gone directly to the designer. I'll tell you a story. I don't want to sidetrack too much. This is several years ago, before mesh even hit the grid. There was a designer who was creating skins, and I liked her skins a lot. I tried her demos. I even purchased one, and I wanted to blog it, but there were some issues with the skins that were really bothering me, so I didn't want to blog it as is. So I wrote this long note card, and I told her, listen, I really like the way your skin looks, but I noticed some issues. There's seams here, there's this and that, the elbows, this, and I wrote all these different points, and I sent it to her. I didn't know, had never spoken to her before. And I was like, okay, hopefully, you know, and I did it in the nicest possible way. And she got back to me, and she seemed a little hurt, which is expected. I mean, even if you go out of your way, doesn't mean, you know, you're not going to hurt the other person's feelings. This is somebody's creation. It's meant a lot to them. That's why I say, so, you know, it's really important you do it constructively. And it's also really important if you do it privately to them, because if you blast it on your blog, then they're going to be more resistant to the change. So she's like, yeah, I see what you wrote, but, you know, I kind of like doing it this way and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, no problem. I just thought I'd let you know what I thought. And, you know, I'm sorry if, you know, if I said something that offended you. And she's like, no, it's fine. I appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. And her next release, she had done everything that I had written in the note card, like every single thing. And I was so happy. And then I blogged the hell out of that skin, because she took my, you know, constructive criticism, and she grew, you know, she learned from it, and she improved her product. And that's why it's really important to give that constructive criticism. Now, I admit I don't do that as much as I used to because of lack of time. Before I would, you know, there wasn't so much stuff on the grid that, you know, I had to blog and stuff. So I had more time to, you know, go in detail. So I don't really do that just for skins. I do that for mesh heads. If I see a glaring issue or whatever, I've gone back to certain designers and I've told them that, no, this is an issue that I'm having, or I think this would improve it. And they have made those changes, and then I've blogged it. So, you know, it's important to do that, to approach the designer. And you build a relationship with the designer in that way too, where they trust your opinion because you are respectful of their creation, instead of blasting it negatively, you know, for all your readers to see. I'm not saying it's you shouldn't share negative things. I share negative things about products as well, but I do it in a very constructive way. So just keep that in mind. There are some things that I don't always go to the designer for. Like if it's something I notice in the HUD that is a small thing and it doesn't really affect the functionality of the items, I will mention it in my videos. That, okay, I'm having this little bit of an issue with the HUD. Maybe it's my lag, maybe it's something with the HUD, because I'm not 100% sure always what the issue is. So I'll just casually mention it in my videos, and I've noticed the designers have picked up on it and updated it and so forth. So you can do it that way too if you don't want to go back to the designer. As long as it's not a major issue, you can point it out casually and so forth. So I do that in my videos as well. And then sometimes I also include wish lists, like for future updates of the items. Like, I wish I had this feature. A lot of times I've noticed that designers have gone and added those features in future updates. So it's good. It's important to be vocal about what you think and feel about the items, but really do it in a very honest and constructive way. And so those are the 3 basic rules that I follow when doing my reviews. So 2 other things that I want to talk to you about before I end this, about improving your blogging and vlogging and so forth. So 1 is being an early adopter, and then 2 is growing a thicker skin. Okay, so both of these things are very important. So to be an early adopter is a person who starts using a product or technology as soon as it becomes available. Now, early adopters are usually the pioneers and leaders of tech communities. People that are more accepting of change, and people that are willing to be adventurous and try new things are the ones that make the most impact in our virtual worlds and communities, and we can see that. So as bloggers and vloggers in a virtual world, we are already the leaders in our communities because we are out there trying all the things and reporting back to our readers about, said new things. So if we are slow to adopt or resist the change, then our communities will not grow and prosper. So all of you sitting here, I'm sure like 99.9% of you are blogging and vlogging, so you are a leader in our community. So don't be afraid of the change. Read all the note cards in the folders, the instruction manuals, fill your head with all the knowledge, and then go out and spread that knowledge like a virus. Of course you do, Alicia. This also goes not only in this virtual world, so that we are now, not only in Second Life, but other virtual worlds and tech communities. The more you educate yourself and adapt to all the changes and updates happening all over the world, the more effective your blogging and vlogging will be, because you will be one of the leaders in that field. So, we saw when Mesh was released, oh God, we don't want Mesh. People were like, crying about it, resisting it. But, I noticed all of the bloggers right away, they adapted, they started blogging it, and those are the ones that, continued on and started, enjoying, oh, hi, Ryan, enjoying what they're, what they were doing. And then Bento hit the grid, and, people were like, oh God, what's Bento? What's Fit Mesh? What's materials? So we were the ones that informed them what it was and why it's improving the grid, why it's making Second Life better. And we were the ones to promote it and to explain it. So we were the leaders in all of that. So that's why it's important that you also feel comfortable and, adopt that change. And now we hear things about, Sansar and so forth, and people are like, why are you promoting Sansar, Barry? I'm like, why wouldn't I? It's a new virtual world. I'm an early adopter. Another thing is, when you are joining these communities, you'll notice the early adopters are also the ones that are, very educated, very adventurous, very intelligent, and you want to also, associate with those people, learn from them, so you would also increase your knowledge. So, sorry, I don't want to cause any drama about talking about Sansar and so forth, but I'm just saying that it's good to be an early adopter, and it's good to be accepting of change and improving our communities. So that's one thing that I want to talk about. And the last thing is to grow a thick skin, because we are so vocal about our opinions. So we will also get people that don't appreciate us being vocal, and they will voice their opinions about our opinions and posts. So don't take those things personally. Don't let them deter you from any work that you enjoy. If you are truly enjoying what you are doing, then what others say and do about it should not really matter. And it doesn't matter to me. I still keep doing what I'm doing because I'm enjoying it. I know I'm doing it honestly, with a clean heart, with a clear mind, and this is a hobby for me. But if you're doing it this as a means of income and so forth, that's fine. Whatever you're doing, just do it. Knowing that what you feel you're doing is right. Now, some will also give constructive criticism, and that's great, because that's something that you want to receive, so you can improve your posts and cater to even more people. So just be willing and open, just like you want the creators to be willing and open to take your constructive criticism, you should be willing and open to take theirs, and that's it. But remember not to take things personally, especially when it comes to trolls or griefers. They're not really out there to hurt you, they're just out there to, entertain themselves because they have nothing better to do in their lives. But you know what I'm talking about. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover, and I didn't take too long today, which I'm kind of surprised about. So I will take some questions, and if you have any questions for me, I don't know. Alicia's asking, a lot of creators take their work extremely personally. How do you handle it if you offer constructive criticism, but now suddenly you are the bad guy? Well, that can happen. that can definitely happen, and that is something that you will have to get used to. Like again, you grow a thick skin. It's not only your readers that you can upset, but it also can be, you know, the creators that you're talking about. But I think if you you know, go about it the way that I explained, by being very honest, by being very straightforward, maybe contacting them directly first, you know, then you can, I think any reasonable person will learn from the constructive criticism. And you know, if they don't, if it upsets them, then what can you do? That's just something that happens, and that's just something that you just learn to deal with. Luckily, it hasn't happened to me where somebody was so offended by something that I said, because I'm usually very careful with my words, and you know, constructive criticism is, you know, something that helps improve a product, all future products, and you know, the product that you know they have right now, any updates and so forth. So I think most people are welcoming to hear that. And but I understand what you're saying, because at times when people tell me, you know, Barry, you know, you're doing good reviews, but you should do this instead, it kind of like stings me a little bit, but I'm already doing so many things, you know, and I have to, you know, take a step back and like, Barry, just take a pill. They're not trying to like offend you. They're just trying to, you know, give you some constructive criticism. And then I've changed, and I've learned, take a pill. Well, you know, I didn't mean to. Sorry if that offends anybody. But yeah. Okay, so Matilda, my mentor used to always tell me, it's none of your business what anyone thinks of you. This is very true. This is very true. I honestly, now that I'm older and wiser in my years, I really don't give a damn what people think of me. I do my thing, and if people don't think of me, you know, in a great light, it's unfortunate for them, because I'm not really out here to, you know, offend anybody. I'm just trying to inform and teach and share my knowledge. You know. Free speech isn't so free these days. Just prepare yourself for the backlash. Yeah, this is true. That's true. It can happen. But I think if you go about it the right way, you know, constructive criticism, being very, kind of be aware of people's feelings, you know? So, that helps. I hope. Any other questions? I didn't think anybody would have a lot of questions about product reviews. And if you guys have questions about anything else as well.
I see a couple of people type in.
Asia is asking, some of us are given items we have to blog in a set time, such as those of us who blog for sponsors or events. Sometimes these products aren't of a quality we appreciate. How do you balance giving an accurate review without throwing the creator under the bus? I don't blog those items. I just tell the creator, I said, you know, I'll be honest with them. I'll say it's not something that I can blog for this and this reason. Or, you know, if they take that offensively, then it's not something you can. Do you really want to promote something that is not of good quality? Or you can promote it, but make sure you point it out in your post appropriately, constructively, not, you know, use the proper wording, like not crap or like Alicia does, but you know, constructively. Do you need good graphics to do blogging? I think it's important to have good graphics, because you want to show the item in the best possible way, and you know, with good, not just good graphics, good lighting, everything. Because I mean, I'm not talking about Photoshop. I barely Photoshop my images these days anymore. Mostly because of lack of time. But you can do now. Second Life looks so great with all the lighting and the mesh and everything. You don't really need to Photoshop as much. So you do want to show it in the best light. So I think it is important to have good graphics. Scarlett is asking, just curious, how often do you blog something that the designer sends you versus finding something new on the grid that you are interested in and then reviewing it? I used to, when I first started, I always blogged things that I found myself because designers were not sending me items. So, you know, I was purchasing things, finding things on my own, and blogging them. I've come to a point in my blogging where I do receive a lot of items, so it's I don't always end up going out and finding something because it's usually already sent to me. But I'm kind of, you know, I've been here for like a decade, so you know, it's been a while now. So, but I do still try to go out. There are, like, when mesh heads first were released, I went out and purchased the first few that I blogged. And then once I purchased those and started blogging, then designers started sending them. But I do try to go out. These days it doesn't happen as often because I do receive a lot of items. But when I was first blogging, I always went out and you know, bought stuff and reviewed it. Alicia, yeah, Alicia says there are a billion items. Don't blog stuff you don't love. And this is accurate. You don't always have to love something, but don't blog stuff that you feel is not good quality or good content, because you're promoting this stuff on your blog. Why would you blog something that you don't have confidence in? That, you know, what you're showing on your blog shows also the quality of your blog. So don't show, I mean, I wouldn't blog things that don't reach that quality. Matilda's asking, even if you take a bad picture, free programs like Photosketcher can do amazing things to improve it, and it's easy to use. Yes, this is true. You can use PicMonkey and Photosketcher and Photoshop and GIMP and all those to improve the picture, but you also want to make sure that you are not changing the product, how the product looks. So you do want to show it as it would look in Second Life to majority of people. Cass is saying, I can hazard a guess at how many items you receive on a daily basis. What mental process do you go through to decide which ones you're going to blog about? This is the toughest thing in my Second Life right now, Cass, because I don't mean to sound, you know, pretentious or whatever, but I do receive a crazy amount of items on a daily basis, and it's really difficult for me to get through everything. So I honestly don't, and I feel bad about it. So now when designers ask, can I send you things, I let them know honestly. I said, listen, I can't promise that it would get blogged. It would really have to like stand out for me. If I see somebody, another blogger wearing it, I was like, hey, doesn't that designer send me things? And then I'll look it up and then I'll wear that item. If I have to somehow, it has to jump out at me and get my attention somehow. And sometimes that happens because I see it on Flickr or Plurk or somewhere. Or sometimes I'm, you know, now with Blogatex, people are adding me to their Blogatex, so I'll go out and look at the designers that have added me, and then I'll look up their Flickrs to see what's been released, and then I'll only pick up that item of what, what looks good to me. So it is really difficult. I'm kind of all over the place with that. I really need to figure out a system, but because of the lack of time, because of my real life work and all that, I just don't. So I just log in and kind of like, it's a free for all, whatever is new in my objects folder. Let's see what's there or what I saw on Flickr or something. So it's kind of chaotic. So I'll admit to that. Barry advertising, what is your favorite or the best way to advertise your blog in your opinion? The only way I advertise my blog is on my social networks, and that's really the only way that I blog it, I advertise it, and that's really the only way that I've been doing it for a while. I don't think I'm on any of those fashion feeds or anything. Maybe I am, I don't really remember. But I just kind of build up my social networks and over the time, and that's what gets me the hits. And then people, eventually, and really important, always have an email sign up thing on your blog. I have like thousands of people on my email sign up, so whenever I blog, it's being sent out to all the people on my email list, and then they could go, and everybody checks their email. I do, unfortunately, every single day. So you want to have those things readily available, but the really the only way I advertise my blog is on different social networks. Reddit, even though the Second Life Reddit people are not always very inviting to blog posts, I get a lot of hits from that Second Life Reddit. So definitely encourage that. But I did a whole live discussion on a few months back at Blogger Valgar Network here about social networks. I can I can link to that or something from this post. But yeah, I go into detail about how I advertise on there and so forth. What you blog reflects back onto you. Exactly. So you want to, if you want to have a top quality blog, you want to make sure you're blogging quality items. I just did a right click inspect to see what you are wearing. Thank you. I actually did list all of the items that I'm wearing right now in my blog post. So if you go there right now, strawberrysing.com, the first post has all of that. What is the size of your inventory? Oh my God. This is a personal question. I'm kind of offended now. Okay, my inventory currently is 172,000 items. I'm really embarrassed to share that. It's really hard. And recently it hit 200,000 and I went and I just deleted like a whole bunch of stuff because I was like, this is getting insane. So it's hard. I need to go back and delete. It's just it's the time crunch. I wish I could sit there and find the time to just sit, give me like half a day to go through this, but it's really hard. But I will. One day it'll happen. Let's see. OnLinker has been getting me lots of traffic too. Maybe worth looking into if you're not on it. Actually, I am on OnLinker. I tried it a few times, and then I kind of got sad. OnLinker is a new, I don't know if it's new. It's a new Second Life owned Facebook social network kind of thing. It looks exactly like Facebook if you sign up. It's like onlinker.com. And it works just like Facebook, but it's for Second Life residents. It's Second Life residents started it, so of course I have an account on everything. And I did use it a few times, but I kind of, there's so many resident owned networks like that now that I kind of lose track of them. So I just focus on the main social networks, and I only do them if I have time and so forth. Alicia, I want to know how big your inventory is. Oh my goodness. You have 219k. Okay, I feel better now. I feel much better. Okay. Okay, good. Cass is on Linker too. Let's see. 126k. Okay. I'm gonna try and get mine down to at least 100k by the end of the year. I'm gonna try. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I hope you guys found it informative. My product reviews, I thought it was kind of pretty straightforward and kind of like common sense, right? How anybody would do a review. Actually, if you guys are familiar, Asia Risto, she's also sitting here. She's also got a really great blog especially for newcomers as well. She explains a lot of things in detail, so definitely check out her blog too. I don't remember the name of her blog right now. Don't hate me. Hang on, I'm looking it up. regenerationshapes.com. So she does really great reviews of items too. So you should definitely check her blog out as well. Okay, so Freya, you have 37k. Are you like one of those people that keep it like very, very neat? Because then I'm gonna hire you to do my inventory. There need to be like these services where you hire people to clean your inventory. Yeah. I'm just reading. I was checking the live stream to see if there was any questions there, but people just seem to be fighting there, so I'll just look in world. Yeah, I want to keep mine. I mean, a lot of people say that inventory, the size of your inventory affects your lag. But it doesn't, I don't really notice that. Maybe it does, I don't really know. I have like alts and so forth that have a much smaller inventories, and I don't feel like they have any better lag issues or anything like that. So I don't think the inventory really does affect my lag as much, but I still want to get it down, at least get rid of like older items that I will never wear again. So I just need time to do that. Matilda's asking, I've so often gone looking for a list of the BVN blogs. Does it exist? I'm not sure if BVN has a list of bloggers and vloggers on their site. That would be great, like people that, but I think that would be a big task to take on, because there's like, I think over 500 people in the group right now, and I think more people join every day. Ryan says, I have not noticed that my large inventory size affects my Excel experience at all. Yeah, I know people say that, but I really haven't noticed that either. Hunter is asking, how do you usually keep your inventory organized, and do you think it's important? I think it's very important to keep it organized. And unfortunately, I do not. The only thing that I actually organize, and if you're watching my live stream right now, you'll see me opening it up. The only thing I actually organize is under body parts. Right away I put new mesh bodies, mesh heads, and all of their skin appliers and all the little, add-ons and everything. I put those into the folders right away, and that's the only thing that is saving me because then I would be all over the place. With that, so that keeps me organized when it comes to my body parts, the essentials. But the clothing and the jewelry and the hair, well, the hair I'm getting better at too. I have my hair folder, I have it organized according to designer. I would love to organize it according to styles, but that will be a big task. But so far, at least, I have it somewhat organized. I've heard Oz Linden say inventory size is irrelevant. Dude, I feel that way. I feel that that's what it is, that it is irrelevant. We do not, because it would be a maintenance nightmare. Yeah, Dell, I understand that. Making a list of bloggers on the site would be a huge thing. Carissa, I think I was too far away in chat asking into the void. How do you get inspired to go on location? I found myself always on a post stand in the sky. Oh, I just smacked my microphone. Sorry, guys. One thing that has really helped me in finding good locations is first travel blogs, which unfortunately, the travel blogs that I used to follow a lot are kind of closing down. There was Honors and Zeki's and different people that did an amazing job covering different locations in Second Life, but they don't blog anymore. So that's really unfortunate. So one place that I always look is my Explore Second Life Flickr group. If you just type in Explore Second Life on Flickr, it should come up, or you can search it on my blog, Explore Second Life Flickr group. And I created that a couple of years ago when I did a blog challenge about exploring Second Life, and I asked people to explore different places, share pictures, and then share it in that group. And then that group just expanded from there. And then I was getting spams because everybody loves to spam Flickr groups. I hate Flickr groups. I mean, I love Flickr groups because they're so good to use, but unfortunately, people just spam them like crazy. So luckily, I have a whole bunch of great moderators that have come on board and are very good about keeping that Flickr group updated properly and moderated properly. So I use that one now. That's my main go-to. If I'm looking for a specific location, I'll go there and I'll look at the pictures, and then the slurls should be in the descriptions of the videos. Let's see. I'm at okay. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions. Oz said the data for groups is bigger than our inventories. That's why we have limited groups. That makes sense. That makes sense. BVN also, BVN also has a list of photogenic sites on their website, and I actually did use that quite a bit. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that is an amazing list. And another thing that BVN has done that has helped me so much is if I want to make a video somewhere, you need prior approval, or the covenant of the land needs to have that it is machinima friendly. So BVN has actually started to write in their location post that it is machinima friendly, and that has helped me so much. So any place that I need to take a video, I actually go there and I see which one is machinima friendly. So you guys, if you do own the land and you want people to come there and take pictures, please write it in the covenant that your land is machinima friendly. So it's there. Somebody's asking in my live chat, I wondered in your opinion how you see fashion and fashion blogging adapted in this new world, and if you think fashion has potential to be as successful as SL in the world of Sansar. I think if Sansar grows, Jenna Adder is asking me this in live stream. If Sansar grows, then I think there will be a good aspect for fashion blogging, but I don't think it'll be as extreme as it is in Second Life, because I think Sansar is there for a different purpose. It's more for virtual reality and for socializing, and of course we want our avatars to look great and all that, but I don't think fashion will be as much of a focal point in Sansar as it is in Second Life. But I think it will be just as important, because everybody does, once the avatar customization and all that is in, everybody does want to look better. Yeah, Blueberry and Truth are already in Sansar. I don't know, I didn't know about Truth actually, that's good to hear. But I know Blueberry's there, Maxwell Graff is there, other people, some other people that are talking about it on Plurg, they're there, they're creating some content. So it's great. It's great to have options. It's great to, I don't see Sansar as a, replacement for Second Life. I see it as just another virtual world that I'll log into sometimes to explore and have fun. And who knows, maybe it'll encourage me to create my own experience, because, everybody gets free land there. So, so you can go and create your own experience and all that. Yeah, actually, Ryan, he's correct. Vanity Fair in World right now. He is already blogging about avatar fashion in Sansar. He has a blog about Sansar called sansarnews.wordpress.com or something. Sorry if I messed that up. But yeah, he's blogging a lot of information about Sansar, including fashion. So there you go. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. So if you guys are interested in just checking it out, definitely read his blog. He's got a lot of information about there. But yeah. But I think Sansar will be used for different purposes, and I think Second Life will always be here as our world of fashion and role-playing and socializing and so forth. And I don't know. I think that they'll serve different purposes. Yeah, definitely be around for many years to come.
Did anyone have anything else for Miss Strawberry Singh? Was there anything else on the stream for you? Nope. All right.
I didn't think people would have a lot of questions about product reviews.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Your support and input is always incredible. We're so appreciative for you as part of this group, and as, coming in and sharing your knowledge and your experience with us. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Coming up, actually, we're taking a couple weeks off. So every weekend we've had a talk since I think February. So we're just going to take the next 2 weekends off, focus on Thereafter. So if you guys haven't been to Thereafter, make sure you go, because it's pretty epic. And then we come back on September 2nd, and Apple's going to join us to go over some photography tips and tricks. The week after that, Cass and I will be talking about promoting your blogs. And what we're actually going to do is, if you're in the BVN group, make sure you're got your notices on, because what we're actually going to do is put together a form for you guys to submit questions ahead of time, and then we'll review the questions and make sure we have pertinent answers to what you guys really want. Coming up right after that is on September 16th is Red Columbia from RC Cluster. She's going to be talking about blogging niche items. And then, my date is wrong on this, but the week after that, we're actually going to be having a really cool photo contest with Pocket Gotcha and Powder Pack. So make sure that you're in the group. It's totally free. Follow our website. Come join the Discord. We're happy to have everybody. And that's about it. So thank you so much again, Strawberry, and thank you everybody for coming, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Which super secret? Oh, the big super secret thing that we're not talking about?
Yeah, that we were not even going to allude to secret thing.
Well,
Because it's
I
like
suck,
so big.
so I really like alluding to things, and that was me alluding to things.
Well, Strawberry is involved in that too. The thing that we're not alluding
Oh,
to.
yes. Strawberry. But Strawberry didn't
She
allude
knows.
to it.
Okay, now I'm
She
confused because I have no
knows.
idea what you guys are talking about.
Wait,
The secret thing.
The secret
are
thing.
you typing to her secretly?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna go on my live stream though if I open the window.
Oh, don't open it.
Okay, I won't open it. I have no idea.
You're the worst. Type.
I'll open it after I stop my live stream. But honestly, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
You will. You will in a few minutes.
Okay.
You shut it down. But if anyone wants to join the gang Dell and I are part of,
We're part of a
get-
gang?
yeah, we are, because we have Serb's spear, or whatever you want to call
Oh,
this
these like
sharp,
sickles?
I don't know, the sharp object. Yeah.
Sharp objects.
Yeah, it's a gang. It's a sharp object gang, specifically the one we're carrying.
I feel like we need a cool name.
I'm pretty sure it would be dangerous for you to be in a sharp objects gang. Trouble.
Probably.
I kind of like the name the Sharp Objects Gang. Like, I feel like that's very to the point.
I think so.
I think it's completely inappropriate for trouble.
She's bullying me again, as
To the
usual.
point, right? Divina.
So I'm really excited to interview
Oh my
I guess
God.
interview you guys. I'm gonna be like, what are your favorite things about me? Go. Everything.
Freya's sharp thing is bigger than my sharp thing.
Freya has a big sharp thing. That was only mildly inappropriate.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I just muted the in-world chat for a bit just so I can say bye to my live streamers here. And I'm going to be shutting down the live stream now. I thank you again for watching. If you do have any more further questions, feel free to email me. And I'll be in world for a little bit longer if you want to come by. And that's it. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye, guys.